This is Dr. B, host of The Dr. B Show, where he interviews top entrepreneurs and breaks down what actually works in business. And this is Drew Thompson, an AI strategist and founder of Signal and Scale, helping entrepreneurs become AI-proof and use technology to scale without losing their human edge. If you want to learn how to use AI the right way, stay ahead of the competition, and make sure it doesn't replace you, but actually helps you win, this is the video you need to watch. Let's get into it.
It's a cloudy day here in the spring. Awesome, man. Let's jump right into it, brother. Tell everyone about yourself.
Cool. Dr. B, as long as it's not snowing, I'm fine and happy because I can't take another 2 feet of
We've had
snow.
a rough winter here in the Northeast for
Man,
sure.
we got killed in New Jersey, dude. So more about me. I run a company called Signal and Scale. We are an AI intelligence transition firm. The idea is AI is designed not to take your job, follow me. It's designed to make you more human, period. I also run a community called Human Powered. And for anyone who's listening, if you'd like to join, it's a free community. It's on School. I'll give you the link here before we finish. But my path to get here, dude, has just been not a straight line, right? And
You
I
remind
think
me of
that's
me. It's not like you would think it'd be like this, but it's like a bunch of squiggly lines, right?
dude, 150%. But I say this to everyone, you wouldn't be able to do what you do now if you haven't gone through what you went through then. So I
True.
started my entire life and my career as a child actor on daytime television. I worked on soap operas. I did Pringles, Cheerios, Pop-Tarts, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you really want to see something funny for anyone who's listening, go to YouTube and search this. Kat Dennings wets the bed. Kat Dennings is on Two Broke Girls. She's in the Avengers movies. She's a very well-known actress dating Josh Groban. We did a bedwetting video when I was 12 together, okay? Funnier if you read the comments. You'll know if you take a look. But
That's awesome.
dude, I went through this understanding of how to tell stories being in front of the camera, but it just sparked this curiosity for humans and why we do what we do from a brand or consumer behavior perspective. Why do stories resonate with people? I went to grad school to try and figure that out. Ended up transitioning into a career in advertising where I built an ad agency in New York City, ended up selling it to a holding company. And I said, hey, it's time to retire. Let's just enjoy life for a few. But hold on. I've always thought about selling homes. So I'm like, hey, listen, I've worked in advertising. I got something someone else doesn't. I know how to actually market and advertise. Tried it for a year or two. And dude, I found myself coaching people more than I did selling homes. Like I wasn't the guy that said, oh, I'm going to go sell 80 homes this year. No, I was the guy that said, hey, Gertrude, who's 86, let me show you how to use that thing called an iPhone. I'm being facetious, but let me help you do the thing that I know is going to help get you business. Ended up going the route then of being the head coach at a company named Coldwell Banker, where I ran learning and development. Transitioned then to go build with my good friend and coach, Sharon Srivatsa, at Real Brokerage, where I ended up building their learning and development as the head coach. And that leaves me to here, where I am right now. I run Signal and Scale, basically helping enterprises, but then also helping mid-market entrepreneurs be more human with AI. So if you're an entrepreneur, right, which you are, and you run your business from soup to nuts, you deal with finance, marketing, accounting, hiring, firing, and then still think, oh, I have to do payroll. Well, that's the person I help, man. I help you see how this tool can make you more human, can take care of some of the work you shouldn't be doing. But at the end of the day, I help you be AI proof so it doesn't take your job.
I
That's
love
me
it.
in a nutshell, dude.
I love it, man. I love it, man. And we'll get into Signal and Scale in a few minutes. So I love that. I love that. And yes, we have to make it AI proof so that none of us lose our jobs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm very big into education. Got my doctorate from Walden and MBA from LIU. And although it's funny, LIU, Long Island University, but I
Yeah.
went to the Brooklyn campus.
All right, man.
How funny is that? All good. Shout out to LIU. They just made the NCAA tournament, by the way. So awesome.
And hey, even though you went to the Brooklyn campus, you're still in the
I'm still
tri-state.
repping. I'm still repping them.
Yeah.
Still repping them. Still repping them. So you went to the Ohio State. You got your degree in strategic communication, and then of course the school of visual arts, right? Brushing up your portfolio. Did these two experiences help you in what you're doing today?
Great question. So what's funny enough is that so my degree was dual in jazz percussion and stratcom because I had to find a way that I didn't want to be a music teacher, but jazz percussion has always been my love, right? There's a part of my career where I actually played Broadway shows. Like that was that if I could do nothing and sit in a room, it would just be playing drums and showing my three kids how to do it, right? But then going through SVA and then my graduate education is at NYU Tisch in theater, all of that gave me the ability to tell a story, communicate a story, and do it in front of a big group of people. But then also understand, like the Tisch training and through Atlantic Conservatory, understand how to have conversations and read and have empathy to someone else's circumstances. And then how do you have a story? How do you create a story around that? So you can find out how to help the other person.
I love that. I love that. As a follow up to that, it's a lost art, right? As far as the art of telling a story. Like
Yes.
I do some capital raising, so storytelling is important as far as the deal, right? So how important is storytelling, especially for entrepreneurs today? Like there's so much noise, right? You have the AI, YouTube, TikTok. How important is storytelling today?
I think it's vitally important. Storytelling today has to be at the core of what you do when you work with customers or even doing a capital raise, right? There is a story that can be told. I look at whether you hate him or love him, I look at what I think is one of the, it just pains me to say this, greatest storytellers there is right now. And he sits at the top of the administration in Washington. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say that?
Yeah.
I'm not judging accuracy. I'm not judging validity. I'm purely talking from a modern day storytelling perspective. He does this thing called the weave. Have you seen this?
Yeah. I love where this is going. Go ahead. Go
Yeah. So the
ahead.
weave,
Yeah.
and I think it's phenomenal because it looks like it's just, oh, he's aloof. He's an
Yeah.
idiot to
Yeah.
you and I, but it is so incredibly strategic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's how do I read from a teleprompter
Hmm.
and I'm talking about something, and then I just weave in another story. Oh,
Yeah.
for instance, we're doing this. We're going to build this golf course. It's
Yeah.
actually the biggest golf course, the biggest, like the big. There was a time once when this golf course was small, like the
Right.
smallest.
Exactly.
And then
Now's the
my
biggest, the most
wife did
spectacular.
this, right? And then it comes back, and it's just something. It's just
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that right there takes an inane amount of confidence, borderline arrogance,
Yeah.
but it is a way to tell a story.
Yeah.
That if I mean, you could be in a meeting doing a capital raise and you could tell a story in that exact way. And if you do it with enough chutzpah and enough gusto, right? Did you ever listen to Chris Rock?
Yeah. I'm a big
I
fan.
can't believe this came up. Chris Rock says, man, when you want to get something done, you just put a little bass in your voice and it gets done.
It's
You put a little
done.
bass in your voice, you say, hey, honey, come here, do this. She's going to do it. You
Yeah.
can't be like, excuse me, excuse me. Same thing goes with storytelling.
Yeah. No, agreed. And then you'll have people cutting out those checkbooks or whatever, or wiring that money to you, right? So
Exactly.
I love it. Before we get into signal and scale, I just wanted to touch on one topic. It's important to, mostly to me, volunteerism, very important to me. I've been involved in several boards, kind of scale back a little bit, but you've done a lot of stuff with um, ultralight startups, right? So why is volunteering been important to you? Why is it important to volunteer?
I think it's important to give back.
To give back, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I spent the past 16 years volunteering in churches, leading worship, right? That has just been my way of connecting with whatever gift that is that God has given me and giving it back to that audience. My mother went through 63 surgeries before she passed away, and she was a single parent, right? Now a chance to give back to other people who've been impacted by the same thing so that they could see, go back for a second. You can't get here where you are without having gone through there, because there makes here possible.
That's true. It goes back to the top of the conversation, right?
Yeah,
Like everything you've done with that child acting and schooling and life, and it's gotten you to this point, right? So
100%.
I love that. Which segues into, which is why I set it up the way I set it up, signal and scale, right? So tell me about the origins. How did that come about? You
I've
didn't just,
always
you didn't just think about it like you didn't wake up and say, "I'm going to start a company," right? There's a whole origin behind it, right? So
so I thought that I could go from A to D and skip B and C. Now, how many of us as entrepreneurs, we just say, hey, I just want to get this done. Like I want to be Gary Vaynerchuk tomorrow. but I want to do the stuff that Gary Vaynerchuk had to do to get there. So just get me there. And it's that innate impatience that about 2 years ago I discovered ChatGPT. And I was like, huh, let me see. Can it do this? Let me see for a second. Oh my gosh, it can do it. So I started becoming obsessed. And I started saying, okay, how can I use this to actually move my business forward? How can I help you, the landscaper? How can I help you move your business forward? Oh, it's not that hard. And so I start playing around with these tools more. And I start applying them to different businesses, to different coaching situations. And I ended up finding that almost 80% of the population have no idea about how to use these tools. And they are so scared that they're going to change their jobs. They're going to take things away. So I said, let's build a company around helping people make this intelligence transition because we've opened Pandora's box. There's no going back. These machines now, I mean, you know who Sam Altman is? He's the CEO of OpenAI,
Yeah.
right? He has said it is going to be the downfall of society and humanity are these machines that they could take over one day. So isn't it better to understand how they impact your humanity so you can remain human? Like, on a side note, I totally think that with the proliferation of AI slop and AI generated art and content and commerce, I really do think what you're going to see is a resurgence of human powered. You're going to see a resurgence of human powered music, human powered art. Are you
And
still there?
as the light goes out, with hard
Yeah,
art.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That dude, that right
That
there.
was good. That was good. I'm in a motion. I'm in my office, and it's like motion based. So hold on. This is live. I'm not editing this part.
That was great, man. That
I
was
love
you couldn't have
it.
planned that better.
Almost on cue. Almost on cue.
So that's it, man. I want to see more people, especially those like you and I who are entrepreneurs. You now can fight against the big corporations because you could be an army of 40 overnight.
Yeah, I love that. No, true, true. I know. I agree. I agree. I know you see all this agents and all that, but I agree. I think the humanism, right, or like what you're talking about, is gonna come back. So I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna piggyback off
Hit
your
me.
comment as well. So you're an AI expert, right? As you said, you have an upcoming book, right? Is it Permission to Laugh on the Surface? So
Yeah.
you're marrying those two things, right? So why humor when it comes to those two worlds?
When I was a kid growing up, I lived two lives. Part of me was on the Upper West Side shooting TV shows, commercials. The other part was on a train, New Jersey Transit, you know that, into Philadelphia, Hospital, Pennsylvania, to go visit my mom. She was in a hospital bed, probably a lot of my life that I can remember. I remember, like, specifically, dude, one time I walked in and she's on this bed, hooked up to more tubes than I can imagine, and she's actually laughing. And I'm thinking, like, dude, I'm a kid. I'm like, how are you laughing? You look like something out of, like, you know, Iron Man, or you're just like hooked up to all these things, right? You've seen that, right? The movie where the guy's just like frozen, he's hooked up all the tubes, and you're
Yes,
like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So, and she's like, here's why I'm laughing. I'm like, why? She goes, well, because I just had a wheelchair race with the woman next to me. I was like, first off, mom, she's like freaking 90 years old. That's not even fair for you to race somebody that old. You could kill her arthritic ass. Okay. But on the other side, what she did gave me the permission to laugh, to see that humor is the most powerful thing in the world. It can shape our brains. The neuroplasticity of our brains is amazing because once we start laughing, we release all these feel good hormones and feel good chemicals in the brain that allow you to just see a situation completely different. You and I are laughing about things, and look at the conversation. So that the premise of the book and the premise of the permission to laugh is that how do I give you permission to see the absurdity in the everyday? Because if you do, you find your own humanity that you can connect with someone else.
It makes a lot of sense, man. It makes a lot of sense when it comes to that and how you're marrying the two together. So yeah, man, I tend to be a little jokester. I think it keeps me young, so that's good.
Absolutely, dude. 100%.
um, let's stay on the AI topic. So you talk about also how you make AI make it comprehensible, right, for the average entrepreneur, right, who's overwhelmed. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you and I could sit here and I could say, you need to use this tool and go over here,
Yeah,
and I want you to
go Gemini, go
yeah,
use
yeah,
this,
yeah,
go use
exactly.
Claude, right?
But that's not like what you need to do. And if you start and think about that, you're going to go, oh my God, there's 1,000 tools. How am I going to get started? When I make it simple and approachable, I say, hey, let's just start with one of these tools. Throw in a bottleneck you have this week, and let's watch the tool solve the bottleneck. And when you do that, the other person goes, oh my gosh, are you a magician? And they start seeing the possibility. So then they start tinkering and they start trying it themselves. Now expand that across an entire organization. And it's amazing the transformation that happens.
That's awesome. That's awesome. As a follow up, you also discussed from what I've seen and done some research on you, the $0 framework, and what is that, and how can someone get a quick win today?
So the $0 framework is very simple. How do you scale your business and add zero overhead, zero FTEs, zero full-time employees? And these tools allow you to do that. I can train something inside of Claude, a skill, or a GPT if you use ChatGPT, to do a specific action like accounts payable, like reconciliation, like marketing content, like email writing. I mean, it's endless. You just pick it. And the idea behind the framework is how do I get seen, get seen, get chosen, and get paid? What tools can I use to help me get seen faster? Well, I can use Claude, Chat, Gemini, any of the major LLMs to help me create the marketing, the content, the presence, the brand to get seen. Get chosen. How do I use these tools then to stand out from an SEO, search engine optimization, or AEO, answer engine optimization perspective? And actually get chosen. How do I use them? And I love this, man. How do I use them to create more human connection points? And now what tools allow me to do that? How do I get them to actually help me be more present in the conversation and tell me things to talk about, like a coach on demand? And then the last part is get paid. How do I use this to accelerate positioning my value in the marketplace? How do I stack, like Alex Hormozy, how do I stack my value without having to go pay anyone to tell you how to stack your value, and just actually use the knowledge you find in all these books at $0? Now, when I say $0, you're going to pay 20 bucks a month for chat. You're going to pay 100 bucks a month for chat, whatever you pay.
For the
But
membership.
metaphorically speaking, dude, that's a 6 or 10x return on your investment. Your investment now is like doubled or tripled in value because it does the work of a person.
I love that. That makes a lot of sense, right? It's all about how to leverage those tools in order for you to get ahead, right? And kind of like you said, be more human, right? As in the beginning of our conversation. I love that, man. So you at the top of the top of the conversation, you also spoke about you coach for brands such as Coldwell Banker and Real Broker. So pivoting a little bit, so what
Yeah.
mistakes have you seen high performers make?
I mean, it's a broad question, but high performers, when a high performer is crushing it in the marketplace, and let's just take a real estate agent, for example, they're doing 20 deals a year, which is well above 80% of the rest of the market. You start to find, all right, my main focus should be people, but I'm always looking for ways to continue to grow my business. Okay, what does that mean? Does that mean I need Sisu, which is a tool for agents? Do I need a CRM that's better? Like, where my focus goes in a million different places. Now, I've been very good at keeping my focus in one lane, closing deals, but I'm always like, okay, what's that next thing? How do I get to the next place? And I think it's a very simple answer. Right now, I can have artificial intelligence triage the entirety of my business and then give me paths forward. And I could say, make this path like a Naval Ravikant, make this path like a Damon James, right? Raymond James, Damon James, Damon, what's his name? The guy who did Fubu.
The Draymond, yeah, Draymond James, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah,
Draymond
yeah,
John or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, him.
But the point is that you can
Yeah.
use these tools now to just unstick your situation. Why not?
So as a follow up, so I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think high performers get too caught up, and I'm guilty. Just like, hey, like closing the deal, closing the deal, closing the deal, right? But I think they should take a step back, right? Almost like an airplane view, like a 30,000,
Yeah,
thirty-five
yeah.
thousand dollar view, and then look at the whole bigger picture, right? Is that correct? Do you agree?
Oh, 100%. You have to look at, take a step back and say, excuse me, I have 3 kids, 6 and under, man. That's the kids.
I,
You have to step back and say, what's made me successful so far? How do I amplify that success? Now, you and I have one brain. We can only do it with one brain. However, I could have an AI be that second brain and then have another AI come in and be the third brain to tell me if the second brain is great.
I love that. Speaking of AI and the brain, you also, I've seen some of your work, creative outside of the box idea, right? So give us an example of an AI powered idea, not just, hey, Dr. B, just write a write a blog, write a post. What's a great way to, get ahead there when it comes to that?
So, all right, that's a fantastic question. And if you're free, man, at 12:30 today, Eastern Standard, I'm doing just that. And I'm going to do something completely out of the box. You ever hear the story about Michael Phelps in the China Olympics?
I know, no, not this, no, not the specific story,
Okay.
but no, I know Michael
So
Phelps, but no.
we know who he is, right? Great swimmer. Shoulders look a lot like mine. Okay. Michael Phelps won the gold medal in the 500-meter free. And at the end, this reporter from CBS comes over and she says to him, "Hey, how did you do that? Your goggles broke." And he said, "I didn't need to see. I'd already seen every single stroke. I'd already seen every breath, every flip turn. I knew exactly when the race was over before it started, and I knew I had won." You see, what he did was he answered a simple question that we all answered the wrong way. He answered the question, what happens if it all works out? Too often we say, what happens if it doesn't? What's the worst case scenario? And we start catastrophizing it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just the mind doing what the mind has been trained to do. But if we can switch that and say, what happens if it works out? And visualize it and live inside that visualization every day until it becomes part of our neural wiring. I kid you not, it is the secret, that book, it is the secret in action. Now, before AI, you and I could sit here and we do it. Okay, I've got to meditate on what's happening. I've got to, oh shoot, what do I say? What do I want to happen? Oh shoot, oh God, I got to answer the text message. It just becomes something we can't do. But instead, you could use an AI to help you tell that story in the second person of what the goal you want to achieve is. Once the AI then tells you that story in vivid detail, I can then go into another AI tool and create a voiceover that sounds like Morgan Freeman reading it to me. Once I have that, I can go in another AI tool and I can create an NLP slash binaural audio beats track of music, maybe Hans Zimmer like, to put behind the voiceover. And now I listen to that every single week, every single day. And my mind, like I kid you not, man, I do these for clients. You cry when you hear it because of the visualization of the outcome that you so want. And you're telling the universe, God, whoever, I'm going to get it. You're making it happen. There's a use case I don't think anyone's doing. And it changes your life. I'm building it today live. I do a live build every Thursday at 12:30. You're more than welcome to attend. When we jump this, I'll get you a link, and I'm happy to get you a link for anyone else.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that. It's fantastic. It kind of reminds me of I have like a virtual summit that I do, Capital Connections, and part of my exercise is like walking the bridge, and it's all about mindset and thinking like, hey man, like thinking forward, thinking a couple of years from now, like where do you see yourself in 3 years with all this
Yeah.
money and all this stuff. So it's interesting how you're combining that with AI and basically being able to, you know,
Dude, it's so good, man. And it's
yeah,
so different. It's just you're doing something that no one else is doing, but at the core, you're doing it for you,
right, exactly.
right? And you're doing it for you so that you can go out there and you can win.
Right, exactly. We're winding down, man. So let's look 5 years into the future.
Hit
Like,
me.
what are most entrepreneurs not thinking about that AI will fundamentally change how we build a personal brand?
5 years in the future, and even right now,
Yeah,
AI could do my job. AI can do yours. AI could be a lawyer. AI could be a doctor. I think the most important thing is the ability to be human. But step back for a sec with me. You remember The Matrix, the movie? Yeah,
yes, I
right.
love it. I watched all three,
Okay, so you remember in the very
all
beginning,
four, I think technically.
the other four? Yeah. So
The newer one. Yeah, yeah,
you remember when Neo was sitting in a chair and someone stuck the thing in his head and they take it out and he goes, I can fly an Apache helicopter,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
We're quite literally there. I have meta glasses I'm not wearing right now that can project onto my screen and tell me anything I want. There's a company named Pickle OS, and Pickle has glasses that have cameras that could read your facial expressions, tell me on the lens what I should say, tell me and make me a subject matter expert in real time. So if I can be a subject matter expert on anything, then at the core, I have to be really, really, really good at communication, at empathy, at learning how to talk to someone, learning to understand what their fears, frustrations, wants, aspirations are, and giving a and caring about how I can help serve them. That is going to be the differentiator. And in 5 years, the people that can do that and know how to control a machine are the ones that will thrive. The others, they're going to be saying, "Oh, this isn't fair. It's taking my job." So be the person that's human powered, that connects with another human, and let AI just help you be better at, well, that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, yeah. Basically, be proactive and yeah, be right and think about the humanism and all that, and don't be left behind. Basically,
Yes, yes.
I love that. I love that. Well, last question. Or one last, next last question. Any final thoughts for entrepreneurs that you could, any or tips you could drop?
I mean, that's the main thing right there, man, is how can I be more human? How can I, if I'm walking into a conversation with you or walking into a conversation with a client, how can I use an AI tool to help prep me, not just to know what to say, but to manage the own garbage in my head so that I'm able to have a better conversation with that person on the other end of the table or the call or the video chat? That's what AI is meant for.
I agree, 100%. Man, where can people find more information about you, or if they want to connect with you somehow or hire you? Tell us where to go.
All right, so I'm on every social
And
platform.
again, on cue.
Dude, the AI gods are turning off your lights, my man.
Yes. Exactly. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. No, you can find me on every social platform. It's just the Drew Thompson. The company is Signal and Scale. And for your listeners, if you want, go to SKOOL backslash human powered. That's just human powered. You come join my community. It's free. We do a live build on there every Thursday. And hopefully it helps people get human powered and get ahead with using these tools.
I love it, Drew. Thank you so much, man. I enjoyed our conversation and definitely won't be the last for sure, man. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Awesome, Dr. B, man. Thank you for having me, bud.
Thank you, Drew. Thanks, man. Drew Thompson, everybody.